you spend any time sort of analyzing skateboarding and what attracts people to skateboarding, it's sort of the individuality of it and the creativity of it.
The funny thing is, for about maybe a good 8 years of my life, I'm a skateboarder. I love skateboarding. I remember my first board I ever had. It was kind of one of those big boards that was like lime green. It was called Execution. And so everywhere I used to go, I used to ride my skateboard.
It's about taking something that may not have been intended to be for skateboarding and finding some way to skate on it or use it in skateboarding.
Skating is like an outlet to me. It's a way for me to get out and express myself instead of like being on the streets doing what other people are doing, like selling drugs or something. This was just an outlet for me.
But as I got older, I started to recognize how awesome skateboarding was. I never really participated in it, and actually I think I hurt myself pretty bad attempting skateboarding and was a little scared. But a lot of my friends, especially the ones that were a little younger than me, skateboarded. And the culture of skateboarding always resonated with me because it was very inclusive.
It brought the people together. It gave kids that had nothing to do after school something to do that was productive, and you got outside, you felt good. You're like essentially exercising, but it's not as like structured as like going to the gym, and like I think that's not for everybody. And so if you like being outside, and I think a lot of people find outlets in skateboarding.
When it's like we out there skating with each other, it's all love. It's all like unity.
I need that Porsche Panamera and that sauce marinara, man, I swear this is part of the dream. I need my kids all fed and that hate all dead, man, I swear this is part of the dream. I need my niggas out of prison, politicians.
I grew up in Ewing Township, which is the neighboring town, and when we were kids and street skating was basically just becoming a thing, Trenton was the spot to go. We would everybody would pile into someone's car. We'd come down here, and there, a half a dozen spots that we would hit every time we came into the city. And those spots to this day are still really popular places to skate. You'll see them in videos online and in skateboard websites.
Back then, like when we started in the 90s, I mean, skateboarding was a pretty big scene. The East Coast kind of like got real popular around the mid-90s. Philadelphia really was kind of like the hub for everything going on, but since we were from out here, we couldn't make it to the city that much, so we try to find like places that were kind of similar, close to us. So we'd skate down here in Trenton and Princeton. Back then there really wasn't any skate parks, so we didn't have much choice but just kind of go skate where we could. So we try to find like cool stuff to skate and get out as much as we could.
I like to tell folks who are moving around some of these complexes, just take a look at the handrails. The handrails are all ground up and scratched, and that's from people tricking off of them. It's not from people walking and holding them, and that'll give you a really good idea.
Well, the Trenton train station is a good spot, but you get kicked out of there a lot.
Trenton train station, it's kind of like where the bad boys go to skate, because when you come here, you can only skate for as long as they want you to, right? Sometimes you have good days to be alright. Sometimes they just come out here like, yo, you can't skate. Like, where else am I gonna go? The street?
Right now, there's a lack of non-traditional recreational opportunities for the city. There's plenty of basketball courts. There's plenty of tennis courts. Plenty of conventional sports. There's not a lot of recreational opportunities for people that are not sort of cut from the cloth that make them want to be part of a team and be, and take on a traditional sport, something that's a little bit more creative, something that's keeps people off the street. I think it checks a lot of boxes for a missing recreational element in the city.
Man, there's too many basketball courts. Not everybody gonna be a Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? We're gonna have a whole bunch of skateboarders doing something positive, then that's fine for the city. And also people revenuing off of that, staying out of trouble.
I think there's a lot of skaters that sort of pursue it from the sports perspective and look at it as an opportunity maybe to do something professional. And now with in the Summer Olympics that are coming up, it's good, for the very first time, skateboarding is going to be a sport, an official sport. And I think it's going to kind of launch, or at least open the eyes of a lot of people to that sort of professional sports side of it. There's a lot of money available to those athletes, but there's also a whole other side of it, of people that are just non-traditional, more artistic people that use it as an outlet for those, that part of that side of their brain.
People have like different styles, different flows. Everybody like has their own way of skating, but it does get competitive. It gets very competitive, but everybody has their own style, their own like flow. Everybody that does like skating, like Tony Hawk, Brian Sheckler, Nigel Houston, they all have their own like flow. They're all different.
Even though you could do the same trick, everybody's different, so you do your trick in a different way, even if it's the same. So that's the uniqueness of skateboarding. You get this, if I might do a kickflip different than my boy Starter. Starter might do a kickflip totally different than me. I might pop mine a little fast, he might pop this late. I might have an aggressive style, and come at it, he might be cool, relax, pop the kickflip, chill,
I see people skate out here that's way better than me, and I just try what they're trying, I guess, to make myself better.
In the jungle with lions, tigers, and minds, I'm redefining your science, accrediting your college, penetrating your eyelids. Who the fuck is the flyest? I was on a no-fly list, and I'm from the wing. Don't parlay with the pilot. I'm moving just like a tyrant. We need a call for action. Niggas calling for silence. Touch like the Midas. Never in the serve. Codeine gave me the itis. Our parents, they never like us. And to be honest, I went from Ebonics to Mozart D minor. I did it in T minus. Looking at the clock, count the seconds till we take off. Brothers wanna chit chat, Kit Kat, get they break off. Sermon on the mount, and that mount is not baseball. Mystery gang, I'm waiting for us to face off. So many green faces that you can put a race car. Don't lose the faith, I shed light like I'm Akon.
My name is Romeo, and I'm from Philly. Well, really originally born in Montgomery County, but traveled the globe and stuff. This is my dad's roots and my sister's roots and my mom's roots before she passed. And Trenton, I came here when I was 16. I love Trenton. I love Trenton so much, and my relationship with Trenton is strong. I always come back to Trenton. Trenton is a place that you always come back to. You don't never really leave Trenton. You can't leave Trenton. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a good thing, That's the respect for the, Trenton. This is Trenton. The stuff was built here. New Jersey was built here. How can you leave the capital, How I kind of started, about after I turned myself in and came home as a juvenile. I came home at 18 when I went in at 16, and I was just like, you know what? I seen the bigger picture. I'm like, I'm kind of blessed. I gotta freaking do something so I can stay out of trouble, because I got a clean slate now. So I came down there and I started skateboarding.
I had to find a way, y'all. For the ones I
October 30th when I first came home, because I grabbed that skateboard. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget that. And also, I think the reason why I didn't quit is because if I didn't land the kickflip by the end of the year, I was done. I landed the kickflip. I land the kickflip. And I was like, all right, this is my life now. This is what it is now,
Gotta keep this shit in you when my style 360. Spitting straight balls back when I was $180. To keep it 720, you rappers do not faze me.
Yes, I'm very optimistic about Trenton's future. I want Trenton to grow, because there's a lot of history of Trenton and nobody really knows. They only see the bad instead of the good.
I believe that Trenton's on a come up and not going down. I believe in the slogan truly is Trenton makes and the world takes. What we're making more so is more leaders, more services, and more listeners and better people.
So the closest skate park is in Hopewell. I rode 37 minutes on a bike to the skate park. skated for 5 hours, and rode 37 minutes back on the bike for 3 days straight.
You tired at all?
I was definitely tired, but it was definitely worth it.
So the Amtico skate park idea came from an idea that the city acquired a piece of property that where they're unable to do pretty much anything else because of the flooding things that go on out there. So it's a property that they acquired and is part of an Assunpink Greenway. So it's intended to be recreational in nature. However, it can't be something that can float away in the next flood. So a concrete skate park makes a huge amount of sense to be put out there because it'll be flood resilient. And it's a great use of a space that would be otherwise unutilized.
Almost like this perfect storm. This area is considered to be an area where a lot of parks are going to be built, a lot of open space, so it just made sense. So when we were designing this skate park, we said, how can we bring all those different things together? And it just so happens that this space here in Amtico Square could house all of those different entities where the riders and skaters wouldn't be on top of each other, but at the same time, it would provide an opportunity of bringing more people together.
Certainly money is a big deal. The plans for the park are to make it a regional attraction, not just make it a lot of towns in New Jersey build parks for their community, and they build these very small parks that can't really handle a lot of people. The plans that we've had over the last couple of years in looking at that space, there's enough space out there to really do something fantastic, really do something big and make it a regional attraction. With that comes a really big budget. So the city's expressed some willingness into helping plan some of the infrastructure and things that need to go around it. They've also expressed some support for the use of that space as a skate park. And I think once that momentum starts, I'm hopeful that the money will just sort of find its way into the project.
But somebody need to build a skate park here because it builds revenue for the city and people got somewhere to go. Man, I'm trying to tell you, you build a skate park right now, you got people coming from Delaware, Philly, and New York. Easy. When you make a skate park, you need different levels and you need real, if you're gonna make it big, they can't just make it big with big ramps and big bowls. These little kids, they need an opportunity to learn how to skate.
So the idea of this skate park is to not only be a skate park for all different levels, from beginners all the way up to advanced and hopefully some pros.
Skateboarding keeps me out of trouble. It really it took me away from. It did what I wanted it to do when I came home. It did what I wanted to. I didn't want to go back into some other shit.
Skate park would mean a lot. It was somewhere where I can spend my free time every day, or come home from work and have nothing to do. I'll just go to the skate park. So it'll mean everything to me. It will help the community a lot. I think it will keep more people off the streets and more people will get interested into skating from the skate park.
I think it will benefit the community specifically is the fact that it will be a unifier. And so to be able to provide resources for our youth and for some of our young adults, it kind of can reduce issues and problems and even crime. We know that a lot of schools are pulling sports out and extracurricular activities. So to be able to have resources for our kids to utilize, it kind of will help them to focus and become better adults because those resources are truly needed in our city.
It's an amazing recreation. There are some nonprofit organizations that have programming designed around skateboarding and the skate culture to talk about anti-bullying, to talk about inclusion. And it's also an opportunity for developing social skills. Physical skills. It's an opportunity for people to get out and get some recreation.
This right here, you got skaters all around Trenton. They're all gonna wanna come there. And while you're skating, and you're not skating, you're talking. You're communicating. You're connecting. I see this being a connector for the entire city. This skate park will be the connector for us to get back the way we used to be, unified, a family.
Man at the crossroads, at odds with an angry
That red sauce on your block is not Italiano. My niggas told it that Rocky, he had to put in Ado. Born in 90s, I've been flexing Johnny Bravo. This is how you preach when ill matter is your Bible. Tribe is your rifle, and we from the town. We some poor righteous disciples. I could lead it with my eyes closed. Students in attention. Came across a beat like a fucking crucifixion. Niggas better listen. I'ma be around like that 20 in description. 2016, 2018. Had the cop a plan B. His girl fucked at 18. Bitches ain't loyal, but they daughters be our queen. Cause what I seen make me pray for a better time. Praying for a better penny. Praying for
Skateboarding's my life. I was born on wheels. And they rushed my mom to the emergency room to have me. So I learned how to use wheels all my life. Anything with wheels, I love. The best.